the nation's commercial nerve center. This is Lunchtime Politics. We track all the big stories in the polity. At midday is your gateway to the polity. I'm Jeffrey Uzawa. Here are the stories we're tracking at the moment. Council of State passed votes of confidence on President Bola Tinubu over his achievements since assuming office on May 29, 2023, as former president and two former heads of state joined the meeting physically. President Bola Tinubu signs into law the amended Judicial Office Holders' Salaries and Allowances Bill at the Presidential Villa. And Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission says each senator earns 1,063,000 naira as monthly salaries and allowances. In response to Senator Shehu Sani's claim of senators' earnings, Senator Sani joins me in a moment for a right of reply. Let's begin the tracking of the polity for what could pass as a moral booster for President Bola Tinubu, I should say, who has received a vote of confidence from the National Council of State for what it describes as the achievement made in the last 1 year. The council passed the vote of confidence during its first meeting under the administration of Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. State House correspondent Lanre Lasisi has this report.
It's the first National Council of State meeting of this administration. In attendance are governors, the President of the Senate, some ministers, and former Chief Justices of Nigeria, as well as presidential aides. Former Presidents Muhammadu Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan were physically present, while retired Generals Abubakar Abdulsalam and Yakubu Gowon joined the meeting virtually. President Bola Tinubu arrives to preside over the meeting. Over 5 hours later, a delegation arrives to outline the highlights of the meeting. As expected, the recent hardship protests were considered following a report by the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, on the security situation in the country and the protest.
The council thanked Nigerians at large for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government. If anybody is not satisfied with the government, any current administration, there's always an election coming. So you wait for election and cast your vote the way you deem fit.
Aside from Mr. Dele Alake, 6 other ministers made presentation to the council on the progress made in each sector of the economy, with emphasis on economic diversification. According to the Minister of Finance, the council commended the economic drive of the current administration, which according to him is yielding positive results.
In broad terms, the economy is growing. The balance of payments, in particular, the trade balance and the current account balance, are in surplus. The exchange rate is stabilizing. And inflation, though high, uncomfortably high, for the liking of Mr. President and his team, it is slowing and it is set to fall.
The Kwara State Governor said the council commended the president after listening to the presentations by the ministers.
The high note of the meeting was the unanimous passage of a vote of confidence on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Members, especially those of the Nigerian Governors Forum, were satisfied with the presentation by the members of the Federal Executive Council.
Following this meeting, the governors went into another meeting with the president, this time a closed-door meeting where they say they had a fruitful discussion, which made them realize that they are on the same page. They also had a high point in that meeting when another vote of confidence was given to Mr. President. From the Presidential Villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
And shortly after the Council of State meeting, the president, who is expected to depart Abuja today for Equatorial Guinea on a 3-day state visit, signed the Judicial Officers' Salaries and Allowances Amendment Bill into law. The special advisor to the president on Senate matters, Senator Bashir Lado, disclosed this in a statement. According to Mr. Bado, the assent is a manifestation of President Tinubu's unwavering commitment to the welfare of Nigeria's workforce and judicial officers. He asked judicial office holders in the country to redouble their efforts in ensuring that justice is served and speedily in the light of the action of the president aimed at enhancing their overall welfare and well-being. Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, has commended President Bola Tinubu for assenting to the Judicial Officers' Salaries and Allowances Bill 2024. In a statement, he says, by this historical assent, the yearning of judicial officers across the country for a better condition of service has been met. The statement adds that judicial officers in Nigeria have been on the same salary for almost 2 decades. The statement further adds that President Tinubu has consistently demonstrated his commitment to the sustainable reform of the administration of justice, in which is an important component of judicial reforms. The AGF equally appreciates the 10th National Assembly for their concern over the plight of judicial officers and judicial office holders across the country, demonstrated by the passage of this bill. And to more stories now, the organized labor in Nasarawa State have asked Governor Abdullahi Sule to wait for the template from the federal government before the payment of the new minimum wage to the workforce. The governor had expressed willingness to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage with the arrears of 2 months. The union made their position known in a meeting with the governor at the government house in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital. Our correspondent, Lema Gayam, reports.
Please be seated.
Members of the Nasarawa State Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress are in the government house for this meeting convened by Governor Abdullahi Sule.
I'm sorry, let me...
Top government officials are present, including the head of civil service, Mrs. Abigail Waya, who highlights the achievements recorded so far.
And we all know that our salaries are promptly paid. We know that pensions are promptly paid, which was not the case before he came. And we've had some years of gratuity being paid off. That is apart from the quarterly payments.
Issues of outstanding promotions payment and the national new minimum wage are on the table for discussion. Governor Sule had earlier promised to pay the national new minimum wage. However, organized labor prefers that he pays their promotion allowances rather than the new minimum wage. They make a suggestion to the governor.
We want our promotion implemented. 2, the template, the table for the approval His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent into law is still being processed.
The governor restates the stance of the organized labor to ensure that they are on the same page with him.
I am willing to pay now, but you are the ones now asking that we should not pay now until the template is out. Then we will come back to the drawing table. We're on the same page. I believe the NLC chairman has spoken the minds of all the workers. Yes. So what we are going to do, I'm going to make life better for you. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Governor Sule has agreed to pay the outstanding promotions from July this year, with a pledge to set up a committee for the implementation of the national new minimum wage. Halima Agayem, Channels Television News.
And more stories now. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, has been speaking on some of the reforms in the healthcare sector. Professor Pate explains that the new policy measure will certainly enhance the welfare package of health workers and health delivery in the country. He was guest on our program, Politics Today.
It's called Health Workforce Policy of Migration. It's a policy of managed migration. It has a forward, the background, the various chapters, all that I've laid out for you, including those who have been consulted in development of this policy up to its approval. On the ministry's website, we're streamlining because it's a large document, so it is easily downloadable, but it's available document and has gone through iterations of consultations with key actors, with key professional bodies, with health workers from all across the country, as well as other ministries. And it's, on one hand, focuses on health, but it's connected to wider effort of the Nigerian government to deal with the problem of migrations, how we harness this potential as a country that has a lot of youth, some of whom are in school, are learning, and they have high aspirations. We think we're the country of the future. How do we harness this demographic potential? I think you'll find that almost 17,000 have been trained over the last 5 years. More than half of them have left. So the younger doctors tend to be trained and they leave because there's demand elsewhere. They want to be better trained and they see the challenges that we face as a country. So this policy is to try to address that so that we retain, provide the services the Nigerians need, while in a way making it easier for those who have gone to be able to come back. And over time, for our health system to be one that in a way provides less push for them to leave, despite the pool that they have from the more advanced countries.
Let's bring you more stories now, where we can tell you that the House of Representatives Committee on Oil Theft is proposing a special intervention fund for Nigeria's Securities and Civil Defense Corps to enable it secure the country's oil installation and guard against theft. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Ado Dogowa, made this known on Tuesday during a special hearing on crude oil theft across the country. According to him, the committee frowned at the allegation that the NSCDC has been sidelined in the fight against oil theft.
The fact that you people in the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps are not ordinarily co-opted or are not ordinarily being extended this special intervention of funding to help secure more of our national assets in the oil and gas sector, I think for me is one thing on one hand. And the fact that you, as a statutory security agencies, the agency that is recognized by law in this country, and you also have as a duty to protect our national assets, still does not take away from you that expectation of the public that what do you actually do in terms of protecting our national assets, whether or not you are being carried out in this special intervention. And it is one information that will also be very useful to the committee to see how we can come up with a report where this agency of government or this security agencies is actually carried along, and you must also be part and parcel of this special intervention.
We'll now take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Join us again. We'll bring you our conversation for today. Let's tell you that the National Emergency Management Agency has organized a crucial stakeholders meeting in Taraba State, emphasizing the importance of mitigating floods through proper waste management for public health and urban planning, as well as sustainable development. The event highlights the need for effective waste management to reduce pollution, conserve natural resources, and enhance a cleaner environment.
Taraba State in northeast Nigeria is one of the states highlighted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NEMA to anticipate strong winds and heavy rainfall in about 10 local government areas. This awareness campaign on proper waste management and flood preparedness for schools and communities in Taraba State by the National Emergency Management Agency is part of efforts to mitigate the impact of the flood.
We are here to call on all the stakeholders. And I'm happy that all the local government chairmen, there are about 16 local government chairmen, I think some of them are here and some of their representatives are here. At least it's a wake-up call that we don't want a similar incident to happen this year. At least one zero-free disaster this year. That is, we don't want to experience loss of life again.
The Taraba State government is also joining the campaign to ensure that the waterways are not blocked and the environment is safe.
They have gone as far as making laws. Very soon you will hear the law publicly that will make sure that you don't dump your waste anyhow. And before that law comes into place, the waste management is going to provide available materials. Assuming there have been a project, I will have shown you a community waste bin, individual waste bin, industrial waste bin that we have set in place. Very soon we are going to acquire them and we are going to put them in place. You will see us, as I assure you, you will see waste management in your house. You will see us everywhere.
Taraba State has had its fair share of flooding in previous years, affecting almost all the local government areas, and the people appreciate the timely intervention of this exercise.
We will all join hands together with you, NEMA and SEMA, together with our technical officers in the local governments, in making sure that there is a proper management of the waste management. And whatever is going to help us in making sure that our people are safe, we will do our best in making sure that we are giving all maximum cooperations on the advice given to us by the SEMA, NEMA, and other related organizations.
The state government is not leaving anything to chance in the efforts to manage the impact of this year's flood by increasing the awareness campaign.
Welcome back. There's been a controversy as to how much a senator earns at the end of the day. And it's been a debate back and forth. But the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has come out to say this is how much they earn, slightly over ₦1 million a month as their allowances, regular allowances, as well as their salary. So if they can give me that slide, let me just show you what the Revenue Mobilization. So this is a breakdown of how much senators earn, from basic salary to personal assistant, domestic staff. Everything came to about ₦1,063,000 naira. That's on one hand. Then there's something they call the non-regular allowances. So this is regular allowances that comes to them every month and their salary. So if you can give me the next slide, that has to do with non-regular allowances. So this is for the 4 year, which came to about 20 million. They call it severance gratuity, furniture allowance, as well as vehicle allowance. They say that one is optional because it's a loan payable. So all of this came to 20 million. This is per every term. That is every 4 years. But the first one I showed you is monthly. But there has been a debate as to how much they earn. And in their submission, the chairman of that commission, the Mobilization Commission, says, he referenced Senator Shehu Sani, who had mentioned some time ago that senators' running cost is about 13.5 million, and then they got about 750,000 as their salaries. That's after the 8th Senate. So Senator Sani is joining me from Abuja City. Senator, thank you so much for coming on the program. Let's see what we can do with the time we have. So, Senator, the reason why we had to bring you here, because your name was clearly mentioned in the release by the commission, talking about referencing you and also saying that anybody that has a contrary opinion should be held accountable for that. I will need your quick response, sir.
Well, I spoke as someone who was a senator, and I believe I had adequate and correct knowledge of what actually transpired at that time, and I believe with what is happening now. Well, the Resource Mobilization and Physical Allocation Commission, we are just playing with figures. They said they were specific in saying this is the salary of the legislators, or specifically the senators. And then they went on to give a breakdown of 20 million, which they said was what every senator earns in 4 years. But I think they have been economical with the truth, and I think I can understand their fears and apprehensions in terms of telling the truth when they know what is actually happening. While before I come to this interview, I was going through the papers and I saw this statement credited to one of the senators from Kano, distinguished Senator Kawu Smiler, who confirmed what I said, that the senators, particularly of this National Assembly, are receiving up to 21 million naira monthly. During my time, I was in the Senate and I was pricked by my conscience as an activist who went to the Senate to unveil what has been made secret for over 2 decades. And I believe that taxpayers and Nigerians in general have the right to know how much their legislators are earning and how much they are actually being given. And I went on as a senator, serving senator then, to disclose what I do receive monthly, what is credited into my account. At that time, it was 13.5 million plus 750,000. And what the present serving senator confirmed is in line with what I said. And if you receive an alert of 21 million, or at our time 13.5 million, I cannot say I received 1 million or 2 million. It is what I received. And what I know very well is that there is the basic salary. In our time was 750, and now they said it's 1 million. And there is what is called running cost of your office. And the running cost of your office is not sent to the office account, it's sent to your own personal account. And then so I don't know how, it's all semantics, trying to play with figures, but I can confirm that whatever comes to your account is due for you, irrespective of whatever appellation is being attached to it. The point is that if I receive 21 million monthly, and I said I received 21 million, and then maybe explanation can come later, but it goes to my own personal account, and I was told this is how I will do it. That's a different thing. Legislators receive 3 allocations. The first is their salary. The second is the running cost of office. That running cost of office is used to maintain your office in the National Assembly and then the one in the constituency. But it is not the money you are also given to pay your staffs. All the staffs all the legislative aid which you employ are paid by the National Assembly. So they are not paid from that amount of money. And then thirdly is the constituency funds, which of course is not money that is being given or credited to the account of senators and honorable members, but it's money that is domiciled in a federal agency for which you are required to submit projects within that envelope. And some will say they want to build hospitals, some schools, some roads, some want to do empowerment programs, and then you submit it, and then the government or the agency, you submit the list, now executed in your own constituency. So these are all simple things which the resource mobilization should be able to get. And I don't think there is need for anybody to deceive Nigerians or to cover up anything. This is public money and it's being paid to legislators, and I think we should come out and publicly say it. And that is what I did.
All right.
So I saw what they shone out to the public, 1 million naira and then 6 for this, that, and then 20, but they know that it's not true.
All right, Senator, apparently what you're saying is that their story is incomplete. They didn't go through. So this running cost, we just have barely 1 or 2 minutes to the end of the program. Do we have, do you retire this running cost at the end, or do you account for it, or you don't account for it?
You account for it, but whatever it is, it goes to your own personal account. So if there is an account separate for your office than your own personal account, then we'll say it's your own, that money was sent to you, but you credit my account with such amount of money. I believe that money belongs to me, and you're only telling me what to do with it, but it goes to me.
Okay.
So you retire with receipts on all things you do, yes.
So at the end of the day, Senator, it means that what you have. So why do you think they are not? Are they the ones? Is it the revenue committee or commission that pays this running cost of the senator's account? Just for the purpose of the audience.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know who pays, but I only know that I receive a lot.
Okay.
And it's not for me to start asking who is sending me the money when I know everyone is receiving such amount of money. As long as money comes to me, fine, and then I do what I should do with it. Asking where it comes from is not my own business.
All right, I must thank you so much, Senator. I wish we had time, but of course I understand the challenge. But they did say that they do not have the constitutional powers to enforce compliance with the proper implementation of the remuneration package of the lawmakers. They consider that a lacuna that is being addressed by the National Assembly. Thank you, Senator. I'm sure we'll have a better time to expand this issue and other issues of national interest, but we're totally out of time. Senator Shehu Sani, former senator from Kaduna State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Ozama. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics.